Oh, Sean, over here.
Yeah.
Before we get into the fight talk in your upcoming title fight, I have to ask, your name's on the canvas. We've noticed next
looks
to
good, huh?
Sweet Sweat and giant pink letters. How'd that come about?
Yeah, we're dropping a limited edition, Sweet Sweat Sugar collaboration, coming soon. Can't say too much about it right now, but how sweet is that? See Sugar in the octagon right there with Sweet Sweat, nice and pink. I love it.
Staying on that, obviously the title shot was always your ultimate goal in the UFC, but when you're getting all of these opportunities, like your name on the canvas, I think like only really Conor has really had that, like with Proper 12 and stuff like that. So what are are there other goals you're trying to hit besides these title shots?
I think title shot's most important right now. With that comes a lot of other opportunities. So main focus right now is on Aljamain. That's it.
So sticking with the Aljamain, then we're only obviously a month or so away from your fight, a month and a half.
6 weeks.
6 weeks away from your fight. How's camp been? How has camp been?
It's been really good. It's been longer. It's 5 rounds. It's my first 5-round fight, so definitely started a little bit sooner. I've been in camp for about 6-7 weeks already. Definitely started sparring further out than I usually do. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Well, Dominic Cruz has said in the past when he's like, there's a significant difference in preparing for a 5-round fight than a 3-round fight. So besides the sparring earlier and been in camp longer, are there any major differences in this camp?
That is pretty major. Just the extra 2 rounds. 3 rounds compared to 5 rounds it's a lot. 10 minutes of fighting is a long time. So just the extra sparring, the extra sprints, extra everything that goes into a title fight camp is it's interesting. It's fun.
And Aljamain's obviously, he's been the champ for a while. I think he's tied or might have the record for most title defenses. Is this a guy that you think you would have to beat twice in a row? Because normally when you get these long reigning champions, you beat them, they can oftentimes get an immediate rematches. Do you think this is a guy that you're going to have to beat twice?
I know he said after this fight he's going up to 45 regardless. So this is a risky fight for him. He could go up right now, be champ, and get that potential, champ fight. But he's risking it because he knows he's going to get paid. This is a big fight for him pay-per-view wise. As far as beating him twice, there's so many interesting guys in the division right now. I know Figueiredo's fighting Dominic Cruz. So there's some interesting fights around the corner. So I'd say no. Go in there, get the job done. He goes up to 45. No one cares. And then I keep fighting.
What do you make of this Corey Sandhagen-Umar fight?
Yeah. Doesn't make sense in my eyes. I think we're just look at fighting, look at business differently, and I think it's a very poor decision. Go out there and win. It's not. Umar's good. Beating Umar's big, but he's Cheeto. He just worked Cheeto, and Cheeto was about to fight Henry, who just fought for the title. So I just think it's a poor decision on his management part, but everyone's do their own thing.
Well, it was just actually revealed that Cheeto's going to fight Pedro Munoz now on your card. What do you make of that matchup?
Yeah, 2 dudes I finished. Interesting fight. Pedro looked good against Gutierrez, so I think, and Cheeto looked really good against Corey. Just kidding, he did not. He looked horrible. He literally didn't look like he knew how to wrestle. So, just going off their last 2 fights, I think Pedro can go in there and get the job done.
Then final one for me. We just saw Robbie Lawler retire after a big knockout. We saw a rarely emotional Robbie Lawler. So I'm curious, what was your reaction to arguably one of the better retirements in MMA history?
Yeah, we were just driving over, watching on the phone, and that's crazy. Tim said he made his UFC debut in 2001, 2002. That's insane. Yeah, that's crazy. Good for him.
Is Sean over here? I don't know if you've taken a look at the betting odds, but Aljamain's almost like a 3-1 favorite. You're one of the most, if not the most popular bantamweight fighter in the division. Does that surprise you to see the odds that wide?
Not really. I mean, look at who he's beat. Look at the guys he's beat in the last 4 or 5 fights. My best win is over Peter Yan. Very close fight, very tough fight. So, looking at it like that, it makes sense. But that was what Peter versus me was, the same odds. Something. I think they were even worse at one point. So, I like that. It fuels me. It's exciting to go in there and fight the best bantamweight in the world. I go out there and put his lights out. What does that make me?
Henry Cejudo, we mentioned there, was supposed to fight Chito Vera. It looks like they're still trying to set up that fight with Merab. Are you worried that fight might never happen? Because it seemed like there was a lot of heat. It would be a good fight for everyone, you and Henry fighting.
I don't know if Henry's come. Yeah, his shoulder. I think he's had issues with his shoulder in the past. Who knows how bad it is right now? I personally don't think we see Henry back. So, but if he does come back, gets a win, very, very interesting fight. Me versus Henry is a huge fight.
And just last one for me, what would it mean to win a UFC title and being a veteran of the Contender Series? We saw Jamal Hill win the title. I know that's something you're really proud of. What would that mean to you to win it just as being one of the fighters that came from that show?
Yeah, that would be awesome. I think the Contender Series is the best platform to get into the UFC, and being there early on is super cool. I feel like it was so long ago. It was my first fight in Vegas, and I think I fought here 10 times now, so it feels like a second home. It'd be really cool to defend my belt here in Vegas in December if all goes well. Definitely not overlooking Aljamain Sterling. I understand how good he is. So, but if all goes well, I'd like to bring the belt back here and defend it.
Sean, did you secretly want your first title chance to be in Vegas? All your fights basically have been in Vegas. Fighting in Boston, did you want your first title shot to be in Vegas?
Yeah, not secretly. I would love my first title defense to be in Vegas. I got Resorts World right there, fight week, make it nice and easy for me. Head over there after party at Zook, which is also happening tonight. But yeah, Vegas, I would love to. I love fighting in Vegas. I'm very excited to fight in Boston, though. I really am. But Vegas, it's just something different here.
Do you have anything planned for your hair?
I don't really have a color. Who knows what we're going to do. It's kind of always last second, but it'll be beautiful as always.
And then finally, Aljamain came out and said that this fight is against his will. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that sucks. I don't really. It's a shitty position for him to be in. I didn't choose that. Like I said, he could have stayed the champ, moved up, fought winner tonight potentially, and then. But like I said, that's a big pay-per-view for him. It's going to probably at least double what he just did against Henry. So, he's making financial decisions right now. You don't get to be in this game for too long. You don't get opportunities to fight one of the biggest stars too often, and he's not passing it up.
Thanks.
Hey, Sean back here. Sean back here. A lot of times fighters, before they win the physical belt, they already have the mindset of a champion and they believe that they're the champion. Do you believe that you are the champion despite not having the physical belt?
I believe I'm capable of becoming the champion 100%. You have to kind of get into that mindset. I had that mindset going into a bunch of my last fights. Definitely against Peter Yan, I knew how dangerous he was, and I knew I had to bring a certain level of focus and discipline to that fight. So yeah, I definitely have that mindset.
And then also, last one for me. I know a lot of times, fighters, they like to visualize the fights and sequences before they actually happen. And we've seen people like Israel Adesanya, they get emotional when they just think about their journey and they think about the fight itself. For you, whenever you do visualize this fight, what are the emotions like?
Yeah, I think there's still 6 weeks of work. We still got a long time. The closer I get to fights, the more I can kind of visualize and see what's happening. I have a good idea of how this fight's going to play out, but fighting's fucking crazy. So, you almost have to be prepared for everything. Obviously, Aljo's a very heavy grappling guy, so, I see it playing out a certain way. The closer the fight gets, the more clear that vision becomes.
Sean, just here. You said about how you think the fight will play out. Where do you see your strengths in this fight?
Wrestling. I'm going to wrestle fuck him. Just jokes. I'm going to strike. I'm going to do what I do. It's no secret. It's a striker versus grappler matchup. That's it. I'm going to go out there and try to put his lights out. I do that every time I fight. Has there been anybody that's hurt Peter Yan? Anyone that's been able to catch him, crack him? I dropped him to a knee in the second round. I can find people's chins. I do find people's chins. That's what I built a career off, knocking people out in the first round. So he cuts a lot of weight. When you cut a lot of weight, that brain liquid goes away. Doesn't take many shots. Could take one shot right on the chin to put him down. And I know I'm capable of that. So that's how I see it going down.
And with his comments saying about, that this fight, this title defense was against his will, does that worry you at all in terms of perhaps injuries or how his mindset is going into this one?
No, not really. He's been very vocal. He's got some kind of bicep injury or something. He said that before the last fight against Henry. He's a built-in excuse to say, I got these injuries and I'm going to this fight and I beat him. And he's like, well, you guys already knew. I said I was injured. I didn't want to fight. Built-in excuse is what it sounds like. But Yeah, he's gonna make the fight. He's gonna make the fight. He's gonna get paid. He's gonna make it there. We'll see how good he shows up. But I do think he's taking this fight very serious. I do think he looks at me as very dangerous. So I expect, the best Aljamain to show up.
Sean,
Right
over here.
Sorry, just last one. And can you put into words how much the title, capturing the title, how much would that mean to you?
Yeah, it would be wild. Started kickboxing, started training when I was 16 years old. Win the UFC belt when I'm 28 would be awesome. But I really do feel like this is just kind of the beginning of my career. I have a long time. The UFC's got a couple superstars, but I'm a big star right now. August 19th, I become a superstar and take over the sport. That's the plan.
Sean, going off that, it's kind of a perfect segue. You've been dealing with fame for a while now, but when you get a UFC belt, it kind of goes to the next level. How are you preparing yourself for, the people who are going to come out of the woodwork and trying to pull you this direction and that direction, and how do you think you'll handle it?
I bought a farm recently, so I got a cow and some chickens. So I'm gonna just be a farmer for a little bit, and I feel like that'll keep me grounded. All jokes aside, I really do think, staying out there, I'm just staying. I got a lot to work on. I love the grind, so, just doing that, being a family man and staying in the gym. That's if I can stay in the gym, I can become one of the best to ever do it. If I start getting distracted, start taking too many opportunities, there's too many good guys in this division that want what I would have at the, you know what I mean? So I got to stay focused, stay grinding, and just stay dialed in. So that's what I plan on doing.
Sean back here. We're used to seeing you at these big events in Las Vegas, March, now International Fight Week. With the time since your last fight, mentally, how's that been for you? I'd assume you see all these events, and at a certain point, it's like, I'm just ready to get back in there a lot sooner than I have been.
Yeah, I fought October in Abu Dhabi and went back to the gym, started grappling. I understand where Aljo wants to take this fight, and that's what I've been doing. So it's been grappling.
Can you describe a little bit, how does one make sure that, they talk about the ring rust and everything. How hard do you need to go in the gym to make sure that your body is ready to be dialed in like it was just yesterday, when it's been a long time between official fights?
Yeah, I had 2 years off, came back, smoked the dude in the first round. Ring rust is never really an issue if you're training, if you're in the gym. So I don't think that's not really an issue. It's mostly just sparring. I know I don't spar outside of camp, but I did start sparring in this camp a lot sooner, a lot further out from the fight than I usually do. So I feel like I'm going to be just dialed in, on point, and find his chin.
Sean, can I just ask your opinion on the BMF title with Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje? How you think that goes down?
With those two dudes, it's just a coin flip, really. Who shows up with less injuries and had a better training camp that night? Who shows up? Those dudes are both so good. Yeah, coin flip. I don't know.
Sean, one more. Of everyone that Aljamain could fight in bantamweight and featherweight, do you think that you're the biggest fight for him in both weight classes?
The biggest fight, yeah, for sure. I think I really do believe I'm one of the biggest stars in the sport right now. So yeah, I think it's clear he's not going up trying to fight someone else. He's fighting me for that reason specifically. I am the biggest star that he could fight right now. So thank you guys.